guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today I want to talk about something that happened a few days ago, and I think it's very important that we talk about it. But before we get into that, I just want to make sure that you guys like, subscribe, comment below. Make sure to thump that like button so we can get more exposure on the YouTube algorithm. But aside from that, let's jump into the video. So a few days ago, maybe 3-4 days ago, TMZ reported that the NBA is conducting a brand new investigation into the Los Angeles Clippers organization because of tampering allegations on how they were able to procure and secure Kawhi Leonard and subsequently, well before, Paul George. So the investigation is because of tampering allegations that were cited in a brand new lawsuit by Jerry Wilkes, who stated that the Los Angeles Clippers, the organization, owes him $2.5 million for securing Kawhi Leonard for them in a 2019 offseason. The man is alleging that Kawhi Leonard told the Clippers that in order for them to get him, they were gonna need to get Paul George first onto the team. This we already know. Like, we already knew a little bit, like maybe this was true, you know, because how that whole thing went was kind of weird. Like, Kawhi Leonard got signed by the Clippers one day, and then the next day PG got signed. So it was a little bit fishy, but we knew that. But the lawsuit, and this is very important, the lawsuit claimed that Jerry West promised Kawhi Leonard's uncle, Dennis Robertson, who is also Kawhi's manager and agent, that if the Clippers were to secure and land Kawhi, that the Clippers would buy a house for Dennis Robertson, right? In Southern California, and most likely San Diego, right? And the owner of the Clippers, Steve Ballmer, would also finance a $100 million marketing campaign for Kawhi Leonard's brand, which is obviously against the rules, right? This is clearly against the rules, right? It's against the rules because the rules state that you're not allowed to use indirect communications or middlemen or bribes in order to land free agents. If found guilty, the Clippers are going to be fined $10 million, and most importantly, their future draft picks are going to be taken away from them, which is very important, right? Because remember, in order to get Kawhi Leonard, they had to give away picks, draft picks already to the Thunder to get Paul George so that they could get Kawhi Leonard. So they're not in a good predicament here. And I guess this is Jerry West's doing, coming back to bite him in the butt, because he really wanted to stick it to the Lakers, right? TMZ also acquired leaked audio of Jerry West talking to Jerry Wilkes, the man that is alleging that the Clippers owe him $2.5 million. He is talking to them, and on there, he seems to be smearing the Lakers. Listen to this for a second.
Excuse me, this is Jerry calling. You know, I really want to thank you a lot for, you know, trying to help. I heard this morning that everyone over in the Lakers camp think they're going to get him. I find that hard to believe, that he would want to go to that shit show where he would not even wouldn't get his name in the paper, and he wouldn't be the face of the franchise, that's for sure. He might be the best player on the team, but hope things are well, and again, I really, really appreciate everything you've done. I'll keep you apprised of what goes on, but I do want to get together with you privately and love to take you to dinner, and even Sam, if he's around, so I can at least pay my respects to you guys for being so generous and helpful. Take care. Talk to you sometime soon. Bye-bye.
So that was Jerry West talking to Jerry Wilkes, and as you can see, he's smearing the Lakers and he's, you know, making fun of them. But you can't really blame Jerry West, right? Because at the time, right, this was 2019. This was the year that LeBron had missed the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2006. So the Lakers were looking like a real cesspool, a, you know, joke of an organization. So Jerry West wasn't in it wrong, and this clip, this audio, isn't really detrimental to Jerry West. It just goes to show the lengths that he was willing to go just to stick it to the Lakers. And he was willing to go so much so that he was willing to bribe, maybe use outside help against the rule book and everything, to get Kawhi Leonard, just to stick it to the Lakers. I don't know what his problem is with the Lakers. I mean, he played for the Lakers and he was a manager for the Lakers at one point. I think he even coached for the Lakers. So I don't know what his animosity towards them is. But besides that, he really wanted to stick it to the Lakers. What are my thoughts on this? My thoughts on this are that, was it all worth it? For the Los Angeles Clippers organization, was it worth it? When you look back on it, was it all worth it to acquire Paul George and Kawhi Leonard? I thought that LeBron James was the only superstar that came with baggage when he went to another organization, but evidently I'm being proven wrong. Because, wow, this guy, Kawhi Leonard, comes with a bunch of things. Not only did the Clippers have to mortgage away a bunch of their picks to the Thunder to acquire Paul George in order to make Kawhi Leonard happy, they also have to deal with his uncle, basically a LeVar 2.0, right? So essentially the Clippers sold their souls for what? Paul George isn't half of what he was, right? We saw it in these playoffs. I don't know, maybe he can rebound in the next season, but judging from what we saw this season, it wasn't worth it, right? He wasn't even a quarter of the player he used to be, right? So you looking back on it, hindsight, I'm a little bit fishy. I'm a little bit on the fence about that, you know? Because not only did Kawhi Leonard and Paul George come into the organization and put a wedge between themselves and the pre-existing players that were at the organization already by, you know, having special treatments, not showing up to practicing when they wanted to, missing games. They now are bringing more negative light or negativity to the organization, right? Especially Kawhi Leonard, right? Because Kawhi Leonard, remember, comes with even more baggage than Paul George because he does the load management thing. He didn't even play, I don't even think he played like 62 games last season. He doesn't do back-to-back games and he does load management, right? And then he comes with his uncle, his LeVar 2.0. As a general manager, as an owner, you don't want to deal with that. You don't want to deal with a family member of a star making demands like, I want a house, I want this, I want... Like, no. And so it just makes it worse for the Lakers. And not only that, he's bringing an investigation to the organization and they could be fined millions of dollars and they could lose a bunch of their picks on top of the picks that they lost to get him. So he's the gift that keeps on taking. He's literally the gift that keeps on taking. And for what? All of that for what? All of that to just get bounced by the Denver Nuggets before even reaching the conference finals? Like, no, it's not worth it. For me, in order for it to be worth it, I want the Clippers to win at least 1 or 2 championships. I don't mean conference championships. I want NBA titles, do or bust, for me to say it was worth it. I don't think it was worth it right now. A year after it happened, I don't think it was worth it. And Kawhi Leonard and Jerry West are gonna make the organization pay. And I can guarantee you, in the owner's office, Steve Ballmer is fuming. He is not happy. He doesn't want to lose these draft picks. He doesn't want to lose these millions of dollars. And I highly doubt that he gave $100 million to Kawhi Leonard for his marketing campaign. He might have. Now that I think about it, he might have. Because remember, when Kawhi first came to Los Angeles, right after he even landed, he had this commercial for his New Balance. Okay, maybe it might have been New Balance, maybe it might have been, you know, money from somewhere else, but you never know. I hope other teams see this and they learn from this. Don't ever cave into superstars. Don't cave into their demands. Don't give them mansions. Don't give them $100 million if they're not working for it on a court. Superstars have way too much power in the NBA. So don't fall for it. Watch this. It's a lesson. And I think the NBA, if they do find the Clippers to be guilty, I think they should take away Kawhi's special privileges. I think they should make him live in Los Angeles. And I think they should take away his privileges of load management. No one wants that. No one wants this for the league. I don't want to pay $100 or more, right, to go see the Clippers play and then their star player isn't playing. That's bad business for the league. That's bad business for the league because people are going to be like, well, I don't want to spend money on these tickets because I may not even get to see Kawhi play. I may not even get to see Paul George play. And I don't like it. That's one of the things I really commend James Harden on because he plays every game. He's like an Iron Man. But Kawhi Leonard, he comes with way too much baggage and I don't like that. And those are just my thoughts on this whole thing. As the story develops, I'll keep you guys updated. Aside from that, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. Smash that like button so we can get some exposure on YouTube. And let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What are your thoughts on Kawhi Leonard? Is this too much power for superstars in the league? Let me know down in the comments. Aside from that, thank you guys for watching.